title match, Mercedes Mone versus Mayu Iwatani. Um, I didn't mention this during the little review we did of Cinderella Final, but Mercedes came out and she attacked Mayu. So I think that means she has left Mayu laying 3 times now.
Yeah.
She's laying that heat on thick.
Like if she beats Mayu, good God. Um, I don't know. Like I kind of prefer the serious Mercedes rather
Mm-hmm.
than like the kind of jokey. I know she was in the press conference doing the thing where she's playing with the instrument and stuff like that, and singing the song. And I don't know. I wanted her to kind of treat it more serious, especially like this level this dream match is. But you know, they're gonna get in there and have a great match. So
Yeah. I
I'm not
mean,
really tripping that hard on it.
I've never really been big on the I've never there's never really been a promo from Sasha or slash Mercedes where I was like, this is what drew me here. Um,
Hmm.
so or to the whatever match she's doing
It's
or
like
whatever
sell
else.
me the match.
Aside from maybe like, and this wasn't even on TV. This was like the YouTube thing she did when she was building up towards the Royal Rumble match with Ronda.
It's
Outside of that, there's really nothing that I've ever been like.
it's like
I, you know,
it's like sell me that you know exactly who Mayu Iwatani is. Like if you're gonna like if your gimmick is like you're just you're big timing everyone and all that. I get that when it's Azumi, when it's Hazuki, when it's like lower level people. But like this is Mayu Iwatani. Like I think it would have been effective if she like on some level was like I know exactly who you are. I watched you from afar. I always wanted to test myself against you and the thing is, you never knew you had to one day face me, or whatever. But I always had my eye on you, or something like that. And it would have been like,
mm-hmm.
I think I would have got more into it if she took that angle. I don't know if there's going to be any more opportunities for her to do that or anything, but
I don't think so.
yeah,
Unless she drops some video or in the week or before Sunday, which is
right.
possible because she does release stuff from time to time as far as content.
Right, and it's like, all right, like who kind of laid this out? Like, is this like a Stardom direction under this feud? Is this like Bushi Road like kind of directing this feud? Is it
I
just
mean, it
up to
feels like
them
just
themselves?
so. I believe Meltzer said that like the run in at the Cinderella final was like just Mercedes on doing. She said, "I just want to do this," and like you're like, okay. So it seems to me like they let her do whatever she wants because they're paying her that amount of money.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that's fine because like for me, like I think she's fucking hilarious. So I did not know this at the press conference until the press conference happened, but like Momo Kogo speaks a bit of English. From what I can tell, it seems that she's much better at translating English into Japanese than turning Japanese into English. But like she was while my and Mercedes were both talking and Momo Kogo was translating. Like Mayu said like something along the lines of like I've seen you before and like now that you're here like I thought you'd be bigger. And then Kogo said that and the fucking face Mercedes made was like something straight out of like a meme. She was like, how dare you? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like she was offended that she was called small. I fucking howled because they're both basically the same size.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so but yeah, like it's the best. It's the best women's wrestler America's ever produced as far as in ring talent versus like at times the best women's wrestler in the world. So like I'm very interested to see this match. Do I think it's going to be like a Takumi Roha Mayu match? Fuck no. It's not going to be an outright war where someone goes away with possible, with a big swollen half of their face. But I expect them to have a great match because it's my we just saw her have a great match in San Jose with Kyrie and Mayu's on another level than Kyrie. So um I'm expecting
Yeah,
like an
this would be
awesome
great.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I expect this to be the second best match on the show. So, um, then you get the
and
semifinal
whoever
light belt.
wins is based on the contract situation. I think it's pretty obvious to say that.
Yeah, yeah. So Meltzer mentioned that like she has an option and she's negotiating both sides negotiating one more match. Who knows what the date would be? Who knows what the price would be? But that's in the air. At the least, to like throw out the set and like this thing just get put onto Mayu at
Mm-hmm.
least. So if they do another match, cool. And Mercedes wins, cool, because I've liked her stuff so far. If she's done and she moves on,
Are you sure, James? Because there are people in the YouTube comment sections that, I don't know if they hear when you or I say that we like Mercedes.
oh, you mean in like the same clip where we said like, hey, I think that both of us believe that she's the best woman this country's ever produced as far as women's in ring talent, and the same as that clip.
I believe that same as that clip.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, I don't. If you only hear the negative, while I'm also literally in there, and I know for a fact I said the positive, then like I'm going to read what you say, be like, huh, okay, and then just move on my day because like, what's the point, right?
We know y'all passionate. We like Mercedes too. Like, I understand. We're not gonna count.
And neither one of us said that she was bad either.
Right.
We said she just wasn't as good as like the most fluid women's wrestler in the world, and another person that's like one of the most talented wrestlers technically I've ever seen.
It's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay, guys. It is okay.
Yeah. So anyway, what were we? Oh yeah. So moving on, white belt match, semi main event.
Kind of did that one earlier.
Saya Kamatani versus Mina. Yeah.
I'm picking Saya Kamatani.
Are we both thinking? Are we both in the same thing? We both
Saya.
think she's, yeah.
I think
like the story is like she hasn't used the Phoenix Splash ever since, and she pulls it out and she doesn't fuck it up and she just beats her and she moves on to whoever next challenger is, and she probably loses it after that.
Yeah.
Or at least soon.
She's keeping that belt warm for Mariah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main event, red belt match, Giulia versus Tam Nakano. They've done everything in their power in the last 35 days out to the match to get this thing over. It has spiked the clicks and views on Stardom on the internet. It is the program, quite frankly, because they've never done it. You can't really do it, given that it's the main event, the biggest show you ever done. But if this was not the biggest show they were doing of the year, this would have time limit draw written all over it. 30-minute time limit draw. You want to get Giulia again, go win the 5-star Grand Prix, and then go get it at the end of the year. I would not do that. That would be such a bad idea. Like, unless even if we were to do like the 30 minutes, go to the draw, restart the match, and do Shuri and Utami and then double KO, even that wouldn't be an appropriate finish for the end of this show. So I wouldn't do it. So yeah, Giulia, I think Giulia's retaining. Don't know if she wins, don't know if it's a draw. Just know that like she is retaining, and the story is for Tam to go through the 5-star Grand Prix, win it, get her name on the trophy, and then go see Giulia again. Either way, Tam has done as well as done as much as any program for the red belt that I can remember, as far as be like, hey, this person, like in this program, has heated up the belt in a way where it's like, wow, you might want to do it. I wouldn't do it because like I didn't fly my ass to Japan and spend all that many hours on that fucking plane to see Giulia win that fucking belt just for her to lose it 115 days later. I would not enjoy that. But
yeah,
for those that did not do that, I see your arguments. I see you and I understand it. But I think
there are people that think Giulia can come off of it, but I don't know. I think this is where Stardom may have kind of like backed themselves into predictability sometimes, like with the
with the long run stuff.
yeah, with the long run.
Yeah.
So like no one takes anything serious. So like, would it be the worst thing in the world to flip the belt here? I don't think so.
I
As well
agree.
as like to kind of upset that, you know, we have one title change a year thing, especially like, you know, Utami's not been focused on while Shuri's like kind of just, you know, like hanging around doing outsider work.
Mm-hmm.
There's Kamatani that'll probably be coming off the white belt soon. Like, I don't know, like I think they could use, like, I think there's a great argument to even if you put it back on Giulia, right?
Oh
And
yeah. Oh no, 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 no. If they take the belt off of Giulia, which I don't think they're doing, but if they do it, she's getting a second reign, and she's going to get her actual year with the fucking thing.
mm-hmm.
Like, no, there ain't no mistake. She's going to get a year-long reign with this belt at some point, whether it's this reign right here or it's the next reign.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's you know, I think Julia's gonna win, but like if Tam wins, like I don't see a downside to that. Like I know people are
There is no
crazy
downside.
about, like I know people are crazy about Giulia, and I like Giulia too. And I think Tam like winning, people on the outside would be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like because
Yeah,
like the Giulia ascension was so kind of publicized, especially like, you know, the people that don't normally pay attention to Stardom, like Giulia's somebody like they're watching kind of right now. So there's some that, like I think it would just be too much of a shock to the system for them to take it off Giulia.
yeah. I'm not look like if you are like flat out, like I said, I did not fly my ass over to Japan to see Giulia only be the champion for 115 days. I didn't. No, I want my money back. um, so, but yeah, like, cause like, you know, I said to you, you know, through at the beginning of or in the middle of last year, like it seems to me like Tam and Giulia are getting their title shot against Shuri. Shuri is going to send them fucking packing both, and then both of them are going to be opposite blocks, and they're both going to fight in the final for the Grand Prix. Whoever wins is going to topple Shuri at the end of the year, and then the next one, and then the other one is going to win the belt off of them
Mm-hmm.
that didn't win. Everything has happened that I predict that I've thought based off of the way they've told this story. Like, so yeah, I think that, you know, you give Tam, who is an underdog babyface, who's a great chaser, you send her to the depths of hell with now only you know, only one person she actually, or one person that she's actually been able to trust in Stardom, and another person that like she has old history with, like to restart and climb from the bottom, get to the top again, get her redemption by winning the 5-star Grand Prix, go 10 in the year, win the damn thing. Um, and like, but either way, like when people talk about like, you know, have complained about Giulia and her title reign, I feel like they're like, how do I say this? I feel like they are misdiagnosing the issue with Stardom as being her reign on top, and it's not like, hey, they did this trios tournament that went 2 months that killed their storyline telling for building stories around their card for their pay-per-views, and
Seeing a
now
lot
they're
of people
built towards
not
this show.
thrilled. I'm seeing a lot of people not thrilled with the Stardom booking this year.
Yeah, because they shouldn't have done it 2 months. Like, so when they announced Triangle Derby, and I was in Japan when they announced it, I thought like, or no, I'm sorry, before they rolled it out and let you know what it was going to be, I thought it was going to be like a Cinderella tournament was a single elimination thing, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
I heard like, oh, it's a round robin. I was like, no, they're doing 2 months of this. I said this to Velcage. It's like they're
Mm-hmm.
doing 2 months of this. This isn't good.
Yeah, it should have been like single elimination kind of thing, like, and
Rich, they did a two. They did a two.
because I kind of like it, like as far as like, you know, they built up to the end of the year show, right? Do the big title change, and then you kind of like let the roster kind of take it easy over the next, you know, month. But they went 2 months with it.
Yeah, and it's also like Stardom. Sorry, there are storylines in Stardom, but most of them are subtle storylines that aren't big things except for things that like go long form. The only people that are really consistently good at that are Giulia and Tam. So once you do that, it's like, all right, you got a lot of people just lost in a wash almost, and everything's about like, okay, like is Waka gonna get her first win? Is Lady C going to join Donna Del Mondo? Like it's small stuff. So like when you're just watching a glut of trios matches, while that's all happening, it's like, yeah, I can see why people are unsatisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the anniversary show. The anniversary show is the main event is Giulia versus Suzu, and then the match doesn't deliver in the way that you were hoping, and in a way where it's like, all right, the last match we got was great, was really great, and we didn't get a winner and went to a time and draw. We want to see a winner this time, and it's like, oh, this match isn't as good as the match they had first, so that leaves you, great match, but like still leaves you disappointed. And then you get the Mayuki match, and it's like, okay, so this is not her second defense against someone that's not actually in fucking Stardom for the red belt. It's more Giulia wrestling ice ribbon wrestlers, old ice ribbon wrestlers in Stardom, and it's like, oh, so this match just went to a double count out, like a 19 or 18 minute, 17 minute double count out, and then the two matches before were way better. Okay, great match, but it wasn't like, it wasn't Hazuki and Kamatani, it wasn't Starlight Kid and Azumi.
Yeah.
So like people talking about her title reign, I think like they're misdiagnosing it, saying like the company's stale and it's because she's on top. It's like, no, the company's stale because they did a 2-month trios tournament to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like tag league, historically, you look at New Japan, you look at Stardom, like
It's
when they do tag
time of
leagues,
the year.
it's a downtime of the year. Now you're doing trios wrestling. That's even less over than traditionally the tag team wrestling. Like, what do you? This was like, if you were to predict what was going to happen, what's more likely to happen? It was going to stay super hot, or it was going to go down. You would predict going down, and then sure enough, that's what happened. So like, yeah, I'm not a person that's like trying to hear any of the people talking down on Giulia's defenses or her title reign. It is what it is. It's been hurt by what's the first 2 months of the year where like once they got out of it and got to Giulia and Tam, it immediately got hot again. And like the thing with the Giulia title reign is like there's still matches. She still has the match with Tommy, which I quite frankly thought was going to happen at this show, but they did the Tam thing maybe just to do it early so they can build Tam up to get to the belt at the end of the year. You still have the part where like Hazuki beat Giulia in the 5-star Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
You still have Mirai beat Giulia in the 5-star Grand Prix and also just won Cinderella. You have a match where like if you want to, you could put Maika and Fukuoka. And you have the part where like Giulia and Mayu are 1-1-3 against each other lifetime. Like in their last 3 matches have all been time limit draws. So you could do that anytime you want to. Like, so there are programs for Giulia to do that are actually with certain wrestlers. Like, don't think that's not the case. So like she still has that stuff. They just front loaded it with this stuff. I guess just get to the good stuff at the end or in the middle of the year. I don't know, but I will say like if you look at like the list of things that just instant programs you could do with Tam, the list is longer, but it's like just do the Giulia stuff and then do that. Like, especially given the time, like if Mayu is going to be IWGP champion, I don't want to see a IWGP champion versus red belt match between Tam and Mayu. Let Mayu have her reign or whatever else. Hell her have it, lose it off to Tommy or Shuri or whoever, and then like when Tam gets it, you get the big spring show 2024. You do the Mayu and Tam match there, and Tam finally beats Mayu there.
I think there's Giulia is actually right now sending out tweets talking about she wants a match against Mercedes.
Yeah, I saw that
match. So maybe that's something to put into play as well to consider that.
Yeah,
seems kind of far fetched, but I mean,
I don't. Okay, I think that as far as it happening, I've never heard. I see why Giulia would say she want that match. I have not seen Mercedes say a thing about Giulia.
Oh,
it's always been like
on Twitter right now. They going at it right now on Twitter.
Oh, okay. So okay. I meant before. I meant like before today. Like I saw that earlier on Tokyo Sports that Giulia said that she wanted to wrestle Mercedes. But like before then, like when she first came in and she mentioned she wanted to wrestle. She's like she mentioned like Tam and Azumi or sorry AZM, people like Kyrie and Mayu. I think maybe even Starlight Kid, but she didn't mention, she didn't mention Giulia. So yeah, they can do that, and that's fine. I don't like the idea of double IWGP and Red Belt champion, whatever. I don't know, but like I will say this, like it'll you and Josh will finally be able to say like, hey, we finally doing this thing with this IWGP belt as far as trying to close out this Stardom and turn it into a women's division for New Japan that y'all were peddling like a year ago. So I think that helps towards your agenda. I don't know if y'all even are still on that, but who knows?
Something to be aware of.
Yeah. But yeah, I expect but either way, as far as like this build to this match and the program has been phenomenal. And like even like I said this like after the 5-star Grand Prix final, I had said like this is like the definitive like of this era of Stardom, like this is the definitive like feud. And you at the time you had pushed back and you were saying like, well, what about Utami and Shuri? Well, the thing about Utami and Shuri is that I think the matches have been better with Utami and Shuri, right? The top two are better than the top two Giulia and Tam matches. But the part where it's like you actually like as far as feeling it before in the program and like these in like Utami and Shuri are just the best wrestlers and they respect each other's crafts and just one to beat the other for the belt. Simple storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Tam and Giulia hate each other in a way that like we could have put that shit on Monday Night Raw in the 90s and it would have gone right in the same way. Like it's like you lay out what they've done to each other, what they've taken from each other, what they've flipped up, stolen faction members from each or taken faction members from each other, and the hair match, all that kind of stuff. Is like it is just so when you lay it out, it's like this has been the definitive thing as far as carrying the top stories of the promotion over time in 2000 from 2020 at different points 2021 and 22. Yeah, I just it's awesome, and this was like the best part of it because they just playing off all the history they've had with each other already, and I expect them to have their best match, and I've already thought they had two matches that were like both given 4 3/4 to, and I think they're gonna go out there and they're gonna top it. So I'm interested to see like how violent this thing gets. I'm interested to see if there's blood. Yeah, I think they're just gonna have an awesome match.
They can't split no wigs in the lead up and then not do it in the real match.
That's how I feel too. But yeah, I who knows? Like we might look. We might see a violet screwdriver from off the second rope. I don't know what. Like we finna see something wild. Like we're definitely gonna see tables.
Through the Japanese table.
Yeah. They didn't use tables on each other before. They did in the hair match. But yeah, like this is gonna be awesome.
There's a death match. Quit playing.
They could have. Maybe they can't get away with that.